What are we looking at? It's obviously not your first rodeo, so what do you want to do?
Yeah, so first I have some other questions that are just about kind of practice
Excuse me.
mindset and stuff like that.
Sure.
So lately, I've had kind of a small dip in motivation recently.
Yeah.
That hasn't really happened to me in the past, and it's kind of because for me, I when I'm self vodding, I've been finding it harder and harder, and even when I'm getting a coach vod like in Ela Mastery, um, to find things that are consistently fight to fight. This is what's happening, or even like
Right.
5 times in one match. Like it'll be like, okay, my cover usage was bad here, but for the rest of the game it was fine. My timing was bad here, but for the rest of the game it's fine. And it
Right.
feels like it's really hard to like justify
Popcorn.
practicing that.
Popcorn. Basically, where you're like going
Yeah,
from one thing to the next thing to the next thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's nothing consistent, and it doesn't feel like, okay, this is one thing that I can practice for like a week and be satisfied.
Right.
So I guess like am I just looking for the wrong things, or should I shift to more like, okay, if this is going wrong just a little bit, then I should only practice it for 1 day or maybe 1.5 days or something like that.
Yeah. I would say the latter suggestion is probably the best one.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the best one. Hit it really hard for a really short period of time and then move on.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
the reality of the situation is, I mean, it could honestly, it really probably is both. It's probably that you're not very good at spotting out things that you need to work on. Number one,
Mm-hmm.
which are generally going to be more broad across the board. But I think, especially with higher ranked players, it is normal to have a little bit more popcorn in your VOD review because you make fewer big picture mistakes, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is more, oh, I goofed that up, oh, I goofed that up. And so in that instance, just go back, slap it around a little bit for 24 hours, and then move on.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So I would not say stop trying to look for big stuff. Keep looking for big stuff. And if you see small stuff, don't obsess over it for anything longer than like a day or two.
Okay.
That's probably
And
your best thing to do. Go ahead.
all right. And then related to that, so when I'm practicing in ranked, I'm trying to focus on one specific part, like we were talking about. And my question is, if I'm looking back in that VOD, the other parts of my gameplay. So say I'm practicing rail usage on Soj. Is that game a good representative of like my slide usage? And
No,
like my okay, it's
no,
not.
no. What the only games that are a good representative of fill in the blank are the games that you're just chilling and playing for fun, or B,
Okay.
you're playing to win.
Okay. Gotcha.
Because
So
if you're practicing anything else, you will be slightly worse at the other things. That's because your brain is engaged elsewhere.
okay. So you'd say if I don't have anything like really of value to practice that I haven't had like say a scrim in a while or something like that, and I haven't had a game where I've played like that because I rarely do play like that, especially in ranked. In ranked, I'm pretty much only playing to practice. I should maybe just play a game of ranked where I'm just playing
I
or
even
tanking.
recommended some people at your level getting in the habit of having like 1 day a week where you just try to climb.
Okay. Okay.
The reason for
And
that is because it's so you practice being in a competitive mindset where
right.
you just kind of empty your mind of things to work on and you just play.
Okay.
Because I think that's really important for tournaments and like matches, right? And so being able
Yeah.
to do that and just turn your brain off, I think is a pretty useful skill to have.
Cool. And do you think in those games I should be like in voice chat calming? Because whenever I'm practicing, I am not in voice chat. I don't communicate with the team at
Depends on
all.
what you're trying to do. Depends on what you're trying to do. Like if you're like, I need to practice my ability to calm and play at the same time, then sure. But it doesn't have to be. It
Okay.
doesn't
Okay.
have to be.
Cool.
You could still just be like, I'm just playing to perform, right?
Hmm. Okay. Cool. All right. I think that's all. So I've got some VODs. Unfortunately, last night's scrim wasn't the best quality, but I
Sure.
think I've got a pretty good map to at
Okay.
least look at the attack of for now. Because I felt kind of, I don't know. I think my Dorado could be cleaned up a bit. Um,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
How did you hear about Spilo? He tried to crash my plane by giving the pilot alcohol. Luckily, our pilot was an experienced drunk driver. When we got off the plane, he threatened me to buy his coaching because he needed money to buy more heroin. Right.
Who wrote that?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Hmm.
Sounds like a really
Cool,
irresponsible player.
It sounds like a really cool guy. I don't know.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay, this is, you weren't the one that flew. Did you fly with me? I can't remember.
Yes, that was me.
That was you. I was just going through my pictures yesterday and I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, that looks familiar. Wait, I'll have to pull it up for the people that are watching the. Do you mind if I show the picture on,
Yeah, I don't
on
care.
the recording? Let's see if I can find it here. Yeah, look at this. Look at this scumbag. Look at this guy. Wait, hang on. Crap, all this time and I have to find it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there it is. This scumbag right there. There we go. Okay. Parasocial relationship, and yet I'm the one that's actually in danger. Okay. Let's do this. So, Scrim, is this Sojourn, I assume?
This is Tracer.
Ah, thank goodness.
Yeah.
I'm all Sojourned out. I think after this year, I'm gonna like permanently ban Sojourn VODs between her release and I'm just so tired of Sojourn. Yeah. Anyway, okay. Let's take a look.
Yeah. Actually, I think I want to look at it. Defense was we got a little bit rolled on first, but then second point we full held them. So I think I want to look at attack first.
Yeah,
and
makes
then
sense.
maybe for extra time.
Sure. Why this VOD particular?
I think I want to learn how to better like bounce between moving cart and actually like contributing to the fight, because I have this like mindset where like I feel like if my team is fighting and I'm moving the cart, that means that like the fight was worth something. But also if they lose, then I don't know. Is it really worth it?
This is where like ranked play and scrim play comes different, where it's like in scrims, you should never, ever have a situation where you're like, oh no, we lost the fight because I was pushing cart. Like if they are your teammates are either brain dead or you're brain dead. So like right now, it needs to be understood that like we're not really taking action because the cart's not contested. So you should just be calling like I'm free pushing. You should not feel, oh no, we're losing this fight, I need to go take space, because you're getting free push. I mean, this is like I cannot understate how bad this is for the enemy team.
Yeah, this is really, really good for us.
This is really, really bad, because if at this rate here, we're almost one fight territory. Like once this is likely to get to about here, and then not only is that important because it's one fight territory, but it also means that you've pushed the cart to where you actually have a lot of angle options to assist. You could blink up from top to here, you could blink to here, you could also wrap here. So it's like they're kind of screwed here. I mean, that's obviously a little awkward.
Yeah.
But even this is like, just keep pushing cart. So I just think that like crucially for you, as long as there's a line of communication between you and your team is under the impression, like for example, here, it's like everyone knows that we're committing, I'm there to go, then we're fine. You should never ever feel guilty like that. And then that's like such a low hanging fruit, you know? So,
so my team, if I'm free pushing, then my team should I should tell my
soft
team
control, just control space. Right. Exactly. Because the thing is, it's like, even though it's a 4v5, where your team is rotated to, it's really bad for the enemy team to try and push in here. Right. It's like, it's a nasty choke. So even if they like 5-man pushed, it would be like really freaking miserable for them to do that. So you guys, it's a, I would say at least an even fight, if not an advantage for you guys if they do try to push.
Right.
Now I appreciate this. But I'm going to go ahead and assume that this is only happening because you guys are planning a nano engage and a copy engage. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think we're building nano right now, I think.
Okay, because otherwise you should be pushing cart more. Basically, here's the way to break Dorado second. When you have a good win condition, I hate to use that term, or a solution, as Egoist Cat would say, to take high ground, then you need to set up for high ground. Otherwise, you push cart. That's it.
So what would be... So if we don't have the nano here, I should be on cart with my supports?
Yes, with your supports.
3 people?
We get 3 people, because at some point in the next few seconds, these supports are not going to want to rotate any longer. They're not going to want to drop underneath, for example. You're going to be pushing cart basically by yourself up to here, right? And then if it's contested, the diva drops, you angle here, shoot, or you angle here and you shoot, and your supports angle from back here, right? It's basically because your supports are not going to want to be in cart in about 5 or 6 seconds. That's why you stay in cart.
Okay.
There it is. I like the engage to the windows better.
Yeah, I agree.
So like kind of creep up to here, then nano engage, and then double blink this way, and then triple blink out to dodge sleep dart, shoot, and then you recall back basically. So you're only going to be there for a brief period of time anyway. But
I don't know what happened to me. I think I really don't know what happened.
D.Va just like lasered you.
Yeah, I should have recalled, but just a little slow on it.
Yeah, I mean you just got lasered.
Yeah.
But yeah, the angle could have been a lot better.
Yeah.
What happens with your monkey as well? Oh, that's questionable. Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it was just not great all the way through.
Yeah.
I also think the D.Va copy. Well, you guys nanoed Echo. What?
Yeah.
Was that a misfire?
No.
Should have been Nano Winston. The reason why for Nano Winston is just for staying power, essentially. Like there's just not enough it's just to be able to stay and contest so that then your Echo can get the copy in play. Like if you look at this here, like if your Winston's nanoed here, this copy Ana is so much scarier because like she can actually stay up here and nade and sleep and do whatever. But I mean, it's not really your problem.
No, but I actually. So when do we want to copy? When do we want to nano Echo versus nano Winston? Because we also play Genji a lot.
Really simple. When your Echo's angle is absolutely busted.
Okay, but she's engaging from main right now, so
she's engaging from main. So then you just throw it on the tankiest target. That's basically what it is. Yeah. So there's not really a good nano engage here.
Right.
So don't nano Echo.
Okay.
And really, it's kind of like a little bit redundant when she also has copy as well.
Yeah.
This is a situation where like your Winston could actually have built primal with this, and so this would have been like a really really nice long push up top. And instead, it's nano copy. She hits the nade, which is like nice, but it doesn't really matter. So
yeah.
So whenever map control is just like kind of, or the angle you have is like kind of baddish, nanoing tank is just generally the safer play.
Okay.
And honestly here, okay, so again, I think you're going to go for like primal. So like another attempt to clear top, which is fine. But you can kind of see the problem here. Like you guys need to be setting this engage up quicker. Because the longer that, like your Winston can't do this.
Yeah.
This is what you need to be doing.
Right.
Right. So you guys need to have to kind of get this sorted out to where it's like, all right, we pull the trigger on this quickly, because otherwise the longer that your Winston does your job, the worse this is going to feel.
Mm-hmm.
Like this needs to be like Winston goes underneath, maybe with like on a brig, and then jumps immediately from here. And then if they drop on you, you rally defensively. Right. Because this feels absolutely terrible. Like you guys really should not be. You guys should not be worrying about card at all. Winston can't deal with card. Like he just can't. So like Winston has to be underneath. He has to be underneath with the supports rotating tight. This is where rally is really useful, as I said. And then you 3-2-1 jump up from under here, where like it's actually tricky for the brig to reach you, and then you can actually pincer your with pulse.
Okay.
This is like really, really, really slow. And the longer you're up here, the worse it feels. Like I don't even know if I'd be peeking here, to be honest with you.
Yeah, this is risky.
This is so scary because like one and then now already recalled, right? Now it's not bad because they did have to use nade and sleep for it, so I think that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, this in theory is like what you want, right? You have defensive ults used, primal, they're off of high. You guys are able to rally defensively. Like this is overall like fine for you guys, but it could have been so much worse.
Yeah.
So I'm, talking a lot about this, I think, because it does directly influence your decision making and what you do.
Yeah. But yeah, I think just for me, it's just about like identifying when it's no longer comfortable for my team to be on cart.
Exactly. And obviously, this is all like not really mechanically emphasized.
Mm-hmm.
But this is scrim play. This is how it always goes. Whenever we're talking scrims, it's always more like, what's your role? What's your role? You need to be way more decisive here. I think getting sucked back to card is a huge mistake here. Absolutely should have taken top. Absolutely should have taken top. That's your staging ground here. Like once top is vacated, that's your staging ground. And if not that, it was spawn camp 100%.
Okay.
I think you were like, oh, we could get the win here. Yeah. No. And now it's too late.
Yeah.
Still have high though. Team is rotating high. That's good. Run.
Yeah, this is really scary.
Yeah. It's all right, though. It's all right. Card is not a bad spot to be.
Yeah.
Grab the mini. And then now the angle on card's really annoying for them to deal with. This is good. You really only have card heals, but it's all right.
Yeah, D.Va doesn't do too much, especially if I keep my range.
I would just go back to card, frankly. Okay, I guess she's just marking you here. kind of a stalemate because your Echo's dead, but this is again good.
Yeah.
And this is where Trace is really useful, right? Like just keep harassing. If D.Va has to mark you, it makes a free Winston engage. It also means that your Echo has an advantage in the duel because she doesn't have to worry about Matrix. So I would keep pressuring card here, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'd stay on card for sure. And
just like steal the D.Va plus pocket, because the D.Va, it's not even a 1-for-1 really. It's really a 1.5 for 1.
Yeah,
and it's their most valuable one as well.
Yeah, for sure.
This makes more sense if you have pulse bomb, but you don't even have pulse bomb, right? So, and also, okay, I guess one other detail as well is like, again, look at your ults here. What's your solution for diving their top? You see it?
I mean, I guess we have dupe, but
that's not enough, and you and I both know that, right? That's not enough. So it's not. There's no real for here. This is where you just need to be bleeding through like what I would call passive advantage, where like because you have off angle control, because you have pincer pressure on cart, because you have supports and high ground, just whittle them down. Land an anti-nade, hit a couple of shots. Sojourn, Echo hits some stickies. D.Va loses a ton of HP on cart, and then they have to use anti-nade defensively. It's just like little advantages here because like a hard commit is just not on the cards.
Yeah, we just can't without especially since they have rally as well.
Exactly, they have rally, they have copy. You track that they have nano as well, likely too. So this is just not going to be a fight where like a hard commit up top makes any sense. So
yeah,
and that's how it is, right? Like you're either committing on backline when you have the solutions for it, or you're milking angles, pressuring cart, distracting, harassing when you don't have the solutions for it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, this is a bit of a disaster.
Yeah.
Because like honestly, even here, I don't know that I would do anything other than cart because pulse alone is just not enough.
It's
like
not.
It's just such an awkward engage. Like
maybe
if he plays here, it's okay because if I might scout for it. Here's what I do: is I might walk up here and I might sniff around, and if she's looking at me, okay, then I give up. You know, like right now, I give up. Frankly, like I would not even.
Yeah,
I give up. I would go back to
Sojourn
cart. Yeah, go back to cart. You give up.
Yeah.
Because it's also like, I mean, your Winston's probably gonna die for this, but
yeah.
Well, I feel like he should, but you know, okay, I take it. You know what? Look. Listen, here's the deal. This, in theory, shouldn't work, but. It was well mechanically executed. It was really well timed. Your team did a pretty good job with it. Your Echo even gets a nice little pincer over here. I don't know what the Ana's doing over here. But you know what? Hey, I'll take it.
Okay.
Now here, again, I think right back to cart because okay. Let me clarify. This is like one tiny adjustment you need to be aware of.
Yeah.
The reason I'd say go back to cart here is because you're on Winston, not in D.Va.
Yeah, right. Because Winston just can't pressure cart.
Right. So when you need cart pressure here from non-backliners, and you just don't have it with Winston.
Yeah.
Here high ground's fine. You know, it's like whatever. Yeah. But there you go. Nice W. Let's keep going. So I guess more than anything else is just deciding when to cart, depending on the ult situation, depending on comp. And then cart versus commit. When does it make the most sense?
Yeah.
Do you want to keep going with this VOD? With this attack?
Yeah, sure. I think so.
Same thing here, by the way. Same exact thing. Pathing the high ground's a lot less attractive, but same thing here.
Mm-hmm.
Probably leave cart briefly. Yeah. Nice. And now you have like the tools for a commit. You have close the pulse, primal. I would leave card here 100%. 100% leave card.
Yeah,
here.
go for backline.
Yeah, you're not really doing anything here because this D.Va's never going to be leaving card anyway. You have primal and backline, you need to be here.
Okay.
You need to be here. Because your angle here is like, you guys need to get a kill or two before cart pressure actually matters.
Yeah.
There's a chance of a C9, but it's not likely. No, and so your primal does a lot here, but it's like look at how close you guys got to actual kills here. Look at this. Look at the Ana HP. Ana drops to less than half.
Yeah, if I was
Sojourn drops to less than half.
Maybe.
Right. D.Va is also very low, so like any extra pressure on the backline there, and she probably is demeched. You know. Anytime that the reason why this is important is because obviously we're talking a lot about Dorada, but you and I both know this is just escort, right? Like this is Gibraltar, this is Ice Uvalde, like this is even exactly hybrid as well. Like making this decision is like almost the most important thing you can be doing in Tracer and the pro play. cannot tell you how many VOD reviews I had with Shax talking about this exact same thing.
Right.
Good old Shax. Shax is like one of the most chill guys I ever worked with. And yet the last season, man, he had a hard time in scrims.
Oh,
sorry to sit on him. And he did good, though. He did good. Like, he always clutched it up for us at the end. But, okay. We can keep going here. What do you want to look at next?
I think it's probably got to be Sojourn. I mean, actually...
we can do Sojourn. If you want to look at Sojourn, I'm messing with you. Let's take a look at Sojourn. It's whatever you want to look at. Whatever you want to look at.
Trying to think. I mean, the scrim was just not great, and the ranked scrims that I have.
That's fine.
Let's look at Midtown.
What was the context of the Valorant screenshot that you sent me? I can't remember.
Whoa, what the? You misspelled your.
Oh.
That's it.
Gosh. Like, that makes sense. This guy thinks he's a comedian.
Well.
All right. Let's take a look here.
Attack.
Oh, attack? Okay.
Also another stomp.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, initially on this first attack,
what the frick are they running?
Yeah, it's these guys were being weird. But I think we'll see pretty early something that I should have changed, which is when we rotate far left, which I don't know if that is the right play. I should have stayed back main, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing with our comp is like it's going to be a little bit of a pain to build rail, but there's so many juicers, you know what I'm saying, that like you're going to cause some messes. So for you guys, it's going to be like, what's the best rotation for you to like cut off their Zenyatta sightlines?
Yeah.
Because that comp is hard to play into is Sojourn for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think here looking to stay back in main for a rail is a better idea.
So let's actually talk about that really quick, because one of the challenges of like playing a composition like this on a point like this is actually like, where's your rotation on the backline?
Yeah, it's not good because like our plan is to go firehouse, but
right, but then what? Right,
but like then there's so much range on us, right?
Right.
Like
so there is no real rotation that you guys can do. I mean, maybe there's a world where you could like amp speed, maybe while defensively, like literally flip the map on them and then like stuff them over here, and then maybe you could rotate on top of them. But it gets kind of like ridiculous, like the route of rotations that you have to do. So remember, your advantage is not just through Lucio speed rotate on top of them. Your advantage is also that they cannot ever catch you.
Right.
So think about what's the most silly, stupid, ridiculously aggressive split that you could do, and just like na boo boo, and you can't catch me, kind of a thing.
Right.
And I think that's kind of what you were saying. Whereas like if you and your Lucio just sat here, what the frick are they going to do about it?
Yeah, they can't do anything.
They can't do anything. And anywhere that the Zenyatta rotates, he can't really keep his distance from the Ram Mei Bap over like from here without also being at risk of getting like crossfire railed. Now, I don't think that's a flawless plan. I don't think there is a flawless plan when they have this much defender's advantage, but I really think that you should not be rotating as a unit here. I think if you have a good angle here, this is kind of like what you're wanting to do here, and not allow this to happen and be like, what are you going to do, Ramat? You're going to chase this? No, you don't have speed, jackass. I think anytime that they're on Zen speed, if you can't rotate on them, take the most silly, stupid, aggressive angle with your Lucio.
Yeah.
And then abuse that. Because even like for your Lucio here, like your Lucio, he could absolutely, like if you get good pressure, he could also read it from here as well.
Yeah, true.
But like there's just not a lot you could do here. Besides like making sure that you hit every single rail, you know?
Yeah. Even so the targets there aren't great.
Right. Good call. You almost got him.
Yeah.
It's like the Genji dilemma, you know, when you're playing versus like Mei, Moira, Zarya. What am I supposed to do versus that? Well, the fact that they're playing Mei, Moira, Zarya means that you could take literally any angle you want and they can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
So anytime you're playing a mobile character versus a poke character, if you can't rotate on that poke character, do stuff like this where you will never, ever, ever, ever get punished for taking an angle like this.
Yeah.
I mean, it obviously helps that their Ashe just freaking died, but
Yeah.
good. Same kind of thing here. Like, what are they going to do about it? So, right, let's keep going here. Now, here you got to ask yourself, with their hold right now, do we have any opportunity to like rotate onto somebody? I think the answer is possibly. Possibly. So you don't necessarily need to take a crazy angle here if you don't want to.
Yeah, I think we need to crack through this Mei Ram, just make them back up a little bit before we want to do something silly.
I agree. The only thing I would say here is for you is give this composition a little bit of respect when they do have the brawl ultimates.
Yeah. We should not. Yeah, with the Mei ult here, it's
the Mei ult is silly. Like your Ram is probably fine to do what he'd like. Your Mei is obviously fine as well, but you being there is a big problem, right? Right, big problem. This is kind of what we talked about, right?
Yeah.
Where you guys are not trying to force the brawl on main because of the ultimates that you guys have. And again, like, what are they going to do about this angle?
Yeah.
Right.
They can kind of hide from me here, but
right. But that's also part of that is also because you need more pressure from you guys in main. So if you look at this here.
Oh, they went too early.
Your team they also go way too hard.
Yeah, right.
Like frankly, like with the amount of aggression that this angle has, you guys don't even. They just needed to keep consistent pressure on main without like inting, and then react with what if they push you, they push hard. If they push your main, you push hard, right?
Yeah.
The problem is that everybody's in horrible positions for the enemy team, but because your Ram's dead, your team can't do anything about it.
Right. We can't actually punish them.
Right. So your Ram needed to chill there. That being said, we're still fine.
Yeah.
Biomechanics Baptiste. Or Kleps when playing versus Metro Mechanics.
Maybe.
Maybe. I made a mistake that match. I looked back in hindsight. I'm like, I should have put Tectris and Kiriko and then instant win.
Yeah, true.
Metro would have boomed off it. That was so fun. That was such a fun match. That was hilarious.
It was.
Now again, here you got to be thinking in the back of your mind here, like, how do I want to play here? You're probably fine with slide, but they do have Rambo.
Yeah.
So they do have not an advantage in the brawl, but they do have a threat. So, okay, there you go. Disengage. And then now you're fine. Your BAP was not so fine.
Yeah, nice I didn't fully disengage there, but I mean
that's not your. That's just your BAP didn't disengage. That's not your fault. What is Overwatch doing? But this is just a good general reminder for your team where it's like, this is why you can't be like myopic with like, oh, we are better, they're better poke, we are better brawl, so we play close, right? That's good. Glad that you recognize that. But they have Trance and Ramel. You guys have BAP window. So all of a sudden, you guys actually need to be functioning like with the threat of punching close, because like that's one nice thing about the Ram is that Ram should never die. Even if Ram plays close, Trance, Ramel, doesn't matter. You're just gonna live. But your backline doesn't have that same luxury, so you guys need to give that ult game more respect. Nice shot. Kind of like you in the Blizzard, right? Your Ram Mei can handle the Blizzard. You can't, so just give the Blizzard respect.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing here as well, like where you guys do have beats, so there's a little bit more flexibility, but maybe we don't want to just necessarily hard force a rush upstairs.
Yeah.
This is good. This is exactly what you want. You have a really, really aggressive angle. Not a lot they can do about it. They forced a brawl. They caught nobody really juicy with the brawl because you guys maintained a little bit of distance.
Yeah.
Nice. On Widow.
Holy.
Cracked. That's Biomechanics right there, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, yeah.
You see my Doomfist?
Yeah, I watched a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, my apologies.
I couldn't handle it. So I had to leave.
It was surprisingly bad, actually. I underestimated how
I think it was surprising.
Well, okay, yeah. I legitimately think that might be actually my worst hero.
I don't know if you have a better ball. That's
100%. But I can farm off of macro more. I can farm off of macro with ball more. Doomfist, legitimately, you just have to hit the combo sometimes. I've played enough ball to know that I could probably do better with ball.
Maybe.
Even Widow, I think I could actually do better. But we'll
Yeah, get
see.
the Venom
Surely we'll get to Diamond. Maybe we'll see. I'll play more today. Nothing really to say here, to be honest with you. Like this is, I will say, like one tiny little detail here is this ties exactly into like right here, for example. Like obviously there's a couple people dead, but like even if they had like their full team here, this makes the most sense because the ultimate implies poke. So why would you sit with your team in brawl, right?
Yeah.
To be honest, like the compositional matchup just gives you the flavor, but the ultimates are oftentimes more important than the compositional matchup.
Okay.
So when you take a poke angle here with Sojourn ult and Bap window or whatever, you're making the correct move. And then now it's where you'd be very cautious about the angle you take because there's no real huge advantage to it. Oh, she got slept out of my ult.
Yeah.
I mean, your team is just positioned so far forward while your cart's so far away. Little micro detail here.
Yeah.
Be careful about this. I actually had a comment with this on my Sojourn, a Sojourn session 2 days ago. Don't do this. Shoot right now.
What do you mean? Don't do what?
Don't shoot so much.
Oh, with left click before.
Right.
Yeah.
Because what ended up happening is the guy I was coaching before the other day just straight up missed a really easy kill because he shot like 3 or 4 bullets when he only needed 1.
Yeah.
And so she turns, she starts to strafe, and then he misses.
Yeah.
It's so if it's a free kill, take it
before.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Take what's given. Nice. Good. Nice. That's huge. I mean, that's unfortunate, but like you'll live with that. Like he should have died. 100% he should have died.
Yeah.
That was Nano, Blizzard, Ram. You slid out. Obviously, you got off-angled by the Ana, but that's okay. What I'm seeing mostly from you is most of 2 things. Read into the ult game with the angles that you want to play. And then even think about this. Think about this. Okay, so this is a tough choke to play. Can you really rush on anybody from here?
No, not
So what's the
really.
solution? Think first point.
I can just take an angle that.
What is the absolutely most brain dead angle that you could take that you won't get punished for taking?
I mean, I could flank through bottom right, or I could just go height.
You could flank through bottom right.
Yeah.
I don't love this because it's too close to the tank, but you wouldn't get punished for this either. The other thing here is that you were saying here is absolutely you could take height and literally with your Lucio slide speed across and take this.
Yeah.
And force him off of high and then just off angle from up top. Again, like
I can OC from up there.
Right. There's no downside for it because you guys have the superior short range composition, so you can take any angle you want. And so that's the problem with this right here is like this is simultaneously a little bit too risky because of how close it was to the ramp, but also it's not greedy enough. Like you said, absolutely get in here, clear him out, right? Go take high ground, absolutely. Like you and your Lucio need to be a hit. Any time that your Lucio we're not actively speeding onto anybody, then there's no reason for you and your Lucio not to be going on a mission.
Okay.
Like this isn't bad, but it's the Ram is not like a really legitimate rush target. Like unless you have an ultimate with it, he's just not going to die. And then even things like this Maywall is going to drop instantly. And then what's going to happen, right? You force block. Okay, you force lamp. You probably should not have even forced lamp. And then now what, right?
Right.
Now you guys are making a play here. I like this. This is good. But I'm wondering if it's too late. Maybe not. Like basically what I want you to think about is because you have they don't have a composition with rush, you should always have a superior angle. That's the idea.
Right. Yeah. Actually, go a little bit back, just like as we were taking that angle here. Do you think right here? Do you think I should pop OC like right there and just keep shooting at those two? Because I hesitated.
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
You should. Yeah, because it's OT. You need a kill right now.
Yeah, right.
You need
we
a
ended
kill
up killing the Ana, but we might not have.
A little bit fortunate. Yeah, I agree. Just to secure that kill, because 1 kill puts us away.
Yeah.
And the best part about it as well is 1 kill means you guys cap, actually. Because they're in OT spawns, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to stagger, and you're going to stagger, and stagger. And I don't think they're going to even touch here. Yeah, they're not going to even touch.
No, they don't.
So, yeah. Makes sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. We haven't really been taking any notes because it's been kind of what we talked about, a little bit of popcorn stuff, right? When does cart matter? When do I commit? When I commit versus cart, right? Sojourn was about when we're not committing on a rush, Lucio speed, what's the best angle that I can take? Oh, and by the way, the reason why this is so important, you're like, okay, well, how many times do we play like a non-Lucio mirror? Well, it's very important in the Lucio mirror as well. When and why? You tell me.
Well, I mean, if we're attacking, their Lucio, I mean, they're not going to be really looking to necessarily force a brawl on us, so I can still kind of do that. And if they are also forcing a brawl on our front line, I can definitely take a really, really, really greedy angle because they're all already using amp or something like that.
Sure. Any situation when your team's like not taking a forced brawl fight, work with your Lucio to take an angle. And that also is a super important thing. I talked about this a lot in the Flash Ops Grand Finals review, right? Where anytime that one team had an inferior brawl ult situation, the Lucio was often with the Sojourn, especially with Timeless.
Interesting.
And that's something to keep in mind. So let's say you guys OC into May ult. Well, let's say OC into Beat, for example. If you're Lucio, if you guys don't need the speed for your Ram or May to disengage those ultimates, your Lucio should be playing with Sojourn on an angle.
Okay.
Especially if the map control, like for example, if you're just not looking to push in, Lucio might want to be with Sojourn. Okay. It becomes more attractive. So yeah.
Cool.
Big thing there. So ask yourself, do we want more of the push advantage or do we want more of the passive advantage? That's the key thing. And then like kind of microing your Lucio around that. And then also because you have your Lucio, micro yourself to take it more advantageous, more aggressive angle.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Keep going?
Yeah.
More inferior codes?
Yeah. Guess we can do this one. Yep. Yeah, this one I also, if we can, like look a little bit at like macro of where we should try to be setting up for dives. I would also like that because this map feels a little bit awkward at points.
Yep. The tough comp that you guys are running as well. It's not a bad comp, but it's tough to run double flanker on a map like this open.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember this was a long wait for us to set up.
Objective unlocked.
The hard part is just like the difficult thing is the Lucio Genji, really. Especially the Lucio, where it feels so far to close the distance.
Yeah, we've also ran the Ram comp on this map, but we wanted to practice this a little bit more.
It might be easier for your Lucio to kind of manage here, and then honestly, kind of probably engage from this angle here, from the wall here. Genji getting underneath is really good. You being here and being as patient as you have been is really good. Yeah, I mean, this was pretty well set up, all things considered, though. Like good patience there.
Okay.
The real danger is if anybody had gone to push you out, which probably would have been smarter. You know, how would have you responded, like in that neutral setup?
So yeah, on their retake here, where do you think we should look to set up a dive for?
I think it's the same kind of thing. I don't think you need to really force anything. You have people on cart, so just don't worry about it. Remember, it's the same thing as Dorado. If you have a card advantage, do not commit. If you don't have a card advantage or you have the ultimates for it, then you commit. Like right now, you guys are looking to set up, but there's absolutely no way that there should be anybody matching these guys right now.
Right.
Like, this is a disaster of a setup. Do you hear what's going on? Look at your Genji, look at your Tracer. Why are you let them? They will have to come to you on cart. So what should be happening here is Lucio is on cart, Lucio leaves. Your Kiriko is up here. Your Genji is up here. Your Doomfist disengages to here. 3, 2, 1, they start to steal cart. We pincer from here. Your Genji,
that's when we
Kiriko come from here. Your Lucio honestly probably goes up here as well. You can continue to wrap all the way around behind, and then your Doomfist commits from high, somewhere in this vicinity here. Let them come to you first. Take the cover and angles presented to you as available, and then go from there.
Yeah.
obviously ult versus no ult means you guys win, but that could have been a
Yeah.
lot cleaner.
For sure. For sure.
It's just because of like the thing is just like your tank is just so likely to like get like your Doomfist could have died here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, okay. And
Yeah,
then
this
even
was-
here, it's just like like,
Yeah,
are you
I-
really
I-
gonna
I
dive
did
here?
not
Are you
like
really
it.
gonna dive here?
This was a plan. I didn't like this. This was a plan for a punch pulse, which I've never heard of before. And we went for it.
I don't think the
guess.
punch stun lasts long enough. Also, no Suzu,
Yeah,
so
it's not.
yeah.
It's not. Yeah.
Man, it just
Yeah, it's
doesn't
just
matter.
that it's
It's like
so
one of those.
bad.
Okay, this is a situation where like you have an ultimate advantage, and you need to win 2 fights in a row. So you catch them with their pants down right now. But I actually don't think this is really wise versus a composition like this. I don't think you can actually force a kill versus this comp. There's too many defensive
Yeah.
cooldowns, and you have. Like, I mean, come on, this is just one.
This yeah.
This is a
we're
3v5.
2 versus 5. I mean, not even.
What?
Like,
Yeah. True. I mean, this is beyond ambitious, and this is
Yeah,
where
yeah.
this is where people die or ultimates get forced right here.
Yeah.
We've used 2 ultimates. We're caught in rotation. And now, okay, so now the dive needs to be happening. And oh my days, like look at our setup.
Oh,
Half of us
we're
have disengaged out. We've lost cart. This is just a mess.
Right.
Be patient. Like you guys could have been like, let's push cart with Lucia or whatever. Kiri Genji sits up here. Tracer, you can honestly stay up here. You and your Doomfist could have stayed up here too. And they just played on cart when you had your resources.
Yeah.
Yeah, no comment.
Mm-hmm.
By low Tracer.
Mm-hmm.
Ambitious to beat Blade and to beat. I would have preferred the beat engage, honestly, first, and then Blade later. For your Genji's information.
That makes sense.
Ooh. Oh, he almost lived. And then here we go.
Ouch. Yep.
Close. And so this is the really nice thing about the being on the flip side of things is so when you're controlling the robot, you need to make them come to you. Essentially.
Mhm.
And then when they're controlling the robot, the nice thing is that you can take initiative when they have to make a really important decision about like who do we leave on cart? Do we even worry about cart? When do we like disengage? Whatever.
Yeah.
So like for example, right now it's really easy to isolate somebody and like Kiriko is like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And this is like as long as you're very patient here, this is a pretty well set up dive. The only thing I would say here is for like more of a micro thing is I want your Lucy to be playing more aggressively. Like he's leaning back this direction, but really he should be leaning back this direction, 100%.
Yeah, because that can really help with the pin serve.
Right. I see this happen all the time with Lucio's, but because they see Curie and they see support, and then they think, oh, support, right? But the worst thing you can be doing is to help your Curie is to stand with your Curie. You should never, almost ever stand with your Curie. Always stand with your DPS. Give her a good TP option, and then actually like control some practice space. So there's like he's fixing the habit here, but like that initial choice to go with her is like total waste of time.
Yeah.
And then here you guys have like a really good setup to just go and whatever. Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just no comment. Spylo Tracer.
And in terms of like targets here against the Queen comp, does it really matter?
No, it's more about who's accessible more than anything else.
Yeah.
So if we like look at this right here, first off, obviously we're not going to be going all on the same target.
Yeah.
But like let's say right here, you guys were all to try to go for the same target from this icon right here. Okay. Who would that target be?
Probably Queen, honestly.
Could be Queen, given how aggressive she's positioned, but also like you could very easily go for.
I'd say. I mean, even the Lucio.
Even the Lucio, right?
Yeah.
Lucio. I mean, given your position as well, you could also go for Kiri, like deep engage with Kiri, force her TP. Tracer's out of position. Like really, basically, the idea is that because nothing's killable, everything's killable, right?
Yeah.
And because they're always like 1 or 2 CDs away from being super fragile. So just take what you can get. Prioritize the angles that you're setting up more, and then just see what's available. Because it's a lot like playing Diva at the high level, right? It's like, what's your target priority for Diva? I don't know. What's out of position, right? So take whatever position you could take and just see what's available.
Yeah.
Like right now, for example, 1, 2. This is a decent setup. I think my nitpick here would be, does your Kiriko get forced out hard? What forces her out? Oh, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. But they also, yeah, that's fine. That's earned. That was also, but see, like, this is where, like, you guys just chill, focus on a squishy target.
Okay.
And, like, frankly, like, that Suzu is unnecessary. Because, like, if you Suzu this right here, this guy just freaking dies, right? Like, with the space that you guys can control here,
Yeah.
it shouldn't be that easy because he should have died.
He's like
that's
right now.
right. Like, you guys didn't have any ultimates and they did, so that sucks. But honestly, like, I think all things considered, that could have been a lot worse. Again, you have card advantage here, so you could just steal top.
Yeah.
Okay, force beat and live. The only thing I would say here, I don't know. I think it just comes down to a little bit the timing of things as well. Like, your Kiri needs to be closer within LOS of your Doomfist here. This is not.
Yeah.
Because this means that we're at a point in time where, like, we need our Doomfist to be, like, a little bit more proactive here. I also, if I were you here, I would not hesitate to wrap deeper right. If you don't feel like this angle's good, take this angle here just for longevity of your angle, because this feels really bad.
You could see me looking at it.
You thought about it, yeah. You thought about it. I think it came down to the timing of your blade, but I wouldn't have minded you even to be late here because you know it's going to be responded to with a beat anyway. So there's not like any huge rush here. Good news is you do get out of the choke.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that setup was too bad from you guys. You had Lucio Genji on an angle. Your Doomfist and you came from an angle. Your angle could have been better. Your Kiri should have been sooner with your Doomfist.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was all right. It was all right. And that was not an easy fight to win as well. I mean, obviously you guys get a little lucky with a punch cancel on the Queen ult, but even with that, I think you guys win that fight.
Yeah.
Or without that, rather. Too many numbers on the payload right now. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
There you go. I like the setup a lot. This is a good setup from you guys.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. And this is kind of goes back to, again, to payload versus, or commit versus cart, right? So right now, who has the most important position in terms of setup? Probably your Doom's Genji, right? So then your Doofus likes a little help from the Kiriko. Your Kiriko also would not like to get her TP forced easily and then lose your setup. So it's like, really for you, it's like, even with your pulse from here, you're probably the least important angle, right?
Yeah.
In terms of setup. So where you are now is fine. My only nitpick here is this is something that remember, like, when do we time we have our dive set up?
Yeah.
Right. So when do we time our dive?
When we have to.
Right, exactly. Nothing's happening right now, right?
Yeah, absolutely nothing.
Because even here, it's like your Genji's actually fine. He just deflex, goes back to high ground, and resets the angle. When they push the angle or when they push cart, that's when you commit your Kitsune. Because this is really uncomfortable. You're like, oh, frick.
They haven't
like,
committed to anything.
They haven't done anything. Like, they haven't stopped you from pushing cart, so then you don't need to do anything. It's the same thing as Dorado first point. Remember that?
Yeah.
Where it's like, because the enemy team has done nothing, we don't need to do anything either.
Yeah.
Because it feels really bad to look at that and be like, we basically use Kitsune Rush for nothing. Literally nothing, right? We just lost. So, okay. Moira, Kiriko, Roadhog.
Yep.
This is an NA ranked composition. Okay. Oh my days.
How many times do I have to scream just die?
I know. It's always with Roadhog. I can get away from him. Oh.
Surely.
Early. The Philo Genji moment.
Yeah.
Good. This is really good. This angle's really good. This is all really, really good. The only thing here I would say is that you guys are probably, like, in terms of staging, the rest of your team is being, like, way too chicken with it. Because they have really pivoted away from like,
they're not on Queen Cup anymore.
Yeah, like this is like, you guys could take literally any position that you guys want here. Like, you just need to avoid the Roadhog. Like, Roadhog is not a legitimate target. So what happens is the Roadhog kind
absolutely.
of quote unquote overextends here, and you punch him out. Okay, that's fine. But for crying out loud, dude, this is a ridiculously commit here. This is where you just like sit here, charge punch, shoot him, slam over here, Kiriko
Right.
TPs. You guys hold this angle here, off angle, and at some point, hard commit on the back line. She's going to use Fade. They're going to use Suzu, and then you follow up with Dumo, Blade, whatever. You know, Lucio, Genji probably should be honestly up here with you because it's an easier engaged backline. Like this is where like going for tank is no longer a legitimate
100%.
target, and yet you guys are kind of playing like, oh, it's Queen, right? It's not.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it was Queen, like I would like to see a better setup dive than that. Your angles on that fight were really atrocious. Your position was good. Your position was good.
Yeah.
You're the star boy. You did fine.
Yeah, at this point, I was just trying to like communicate that we need to just be going around the Roadhog because I think for the first fight or two, when they're on the hog, we were actually looking at the hog, and that was I was just like, no, we can't do that. We have to just go around him.
I mean, you saw it even with the Kitsune, right? Like there was a lot of attention on that hog, and absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
This signal for you is bad just because of where the robot is. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think I should have looped through left side
100%,
for sure.
100%. The good news is I think that you guys are trying here. Doomfist comes from an angle. The timing is really, really, really off. But
yes. Yeah.
and again here, I really think your Kiriko could be following your Doom more.
Yeah.
I really do. Like I see no reason for your Kiriko not to be TPing your Doomfist right now. Prevent him from getting chipped. It's a better angle for the Kiriko onto the backline as well. Like she's following your Lucio again. She's kind of following from main. It's not a terrible angle, but it feels unnecessary.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just something to keep in mind. The way I look at it optimally is like if you're not being marked, Doom, Kiri, Lucio, Genji, Tracer. If you're being marked, she can kind of ping pong between you and the Doomfist.
Yeah.
Let's see this.
Oh yeah, this was
Again, this is like I guess it's kind of fine because you're like, oh, Suzu. But be careful about like how messy this gets because nobody cares if they take the space. The cart is still moving. Right. So the robot's still moving with you. So your Genji Lucio can hang around here. Your Doomfist Kiriko can hang around here. Let them out. Let them come out. Like make them come to you on cart. When they come to you on cart, then we take action. Like right now, exactly. Like look at this. This is this is the thing is this is where they're most vulnerable to dive right now.
Right. If we were set up for right now, like
if we had CDs,
they can just dash on me, right?
No dash, no deflect, no recall, no cooldowns at all, no Suzu, no amp. And what have they used, right? Moira Orb, which doesn't even matter. They've got their Suzu, their TP. Dash to chase you. Roadhog has his CDs. Tracer has her CDs. Like so, it's like that is such a negative cooldown trade. And the reason why it was negative is because it was like 2 or 3 of you trying to stuff a choke when 2 of you guys were on cart.
Yeah.
And now it's like this is a really well set up. Right. This is a really well set up dive with no cooldowns. So it might work. It might work because you have all the angles, but it only works because they have no ultimates. So
we had ults.
That's pretty much it. Okay.
Cool.
Any questions?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are the main takeaways with Tracer then?
Figuring out when it's valuable for me to be on cart versus committing and especially looking at the ults. Like if we have something, I mean, this is for most maps, but especially like Dorado, if we have something that can clear like height that we can actually commit to a dive for, then I should be there for it. Otherwise, I should just be on cart.
Yeah.
Pretty much for the most part.
Yeah. 100%. I think it's just cart versus commit. And then it's for a lot of it has been a lot of your responsibility and the angles that you're taking. But because it's a scrim VOD and because you're trying to like educate you and your team and like it is a lot of team stuff too, like where you guys are forcing commits when you just don't need to. Cart's not being contested. You don't have good angles. Kind of comes back to timing there. So and then Sojourn, obviously, like just if you have an aggro angle, or if you can't hard commit, then abuse the aggro angle. Read the ult situation. Read the compositional matchup as best as you can.
Yeah.
Okay. No questions?
Cool. No.